Now, let us take up the concept number 4.8, open source software. Actually, software can be classified into two groups: proprietary softwares and open source softwares. Proprietary softwares are developed by certain companies or a group of individuals and all that. Here, the proprietary, those are the owners of the software. So, we cannot access the source code. If you want to use that software, you have to purchase a license agreement subject to certain conditions and all that, subject to certain restrictions. You have to purchase the software, and you can remain as a user of that software subject to those restrictions. But you cannot view its source code at all. That is proprietary software. The best example is MS Office. MS Office and all that, if you want, you have to purchase that, and you have to enter a license agreement with them, and there are certain restrictions. Subject to those restrictions, you have to use that software. You remain a mere user of the software, but you cannot view the source code of that software. On the other hand, open source softwares, these are free softwares. They are developed, and those are provided freely, those are available freely to the people, and people can access that software, and they can view the code. They can, if they want, they modify the code and all that. They can modify any loopholes are there in the source code in the program. They can plug the loopholes, and they can enhance the software also. By using the software, they can make some enhancements of that software and all that. In that way, people, as if they develop the software, the people can access it, alter it, modify it, plug the loopholes, enhance it, and they develop new products out of that. Actually, as far as proprietary software are concerned, you never get them freely. You have to purchase the license agreement, and you have to use it. Otherwise, it is illegal, and they can uh, put a case on you if you use a pirated software and all that. On the other hand, open source softwares are available freely. You can access the softwares. Now, we discuss the advantages of the open source software. And one more thing, what are the open source softwares? I have to just, for example, Linux operating system, LibreOffice, all these are open software, open source softwares and all that. You can freely avail those softwares and use, alter, modify, enhance those softwares. And now I will explain the advantages of open source software. You can access the source code of the software, and you can learn out of that. You can learn out of that, and based on that, you can enhance them if you want, or otherwise, based on that knowledge, you can develop your own products. That is the first benefit out of the software. The second advantage is most internet is built on open source softwares. They're Linux, Apache, server software, etc., and all that. And here you can have more control over the software, because once you study the software and its functionalities, and whether it is perfectly suitable for your use or not, first you appraise, thereafter you can use. In proprietary softwares and all that, you have to see the features and use it. Subsequently, if you realize that it is not exactly suitable for your purpose and all that, you have to pay penalty and all that. But in open source softwares, first it is free. you can uh, try that and see that if you want uh, to make any enhancement to that which are suitable to your needs and all that, you can freely do that. And one more thing, one more great feature is a open source software is launched and all that. Entire world enthusiastic programmers look at it. They study that. If any loopholes are there and all that, the enthusiastic programmers focus on that. They plug the loopholes. By that, always the software is a, remain as a foolproof software, and based on the same software, many enhancements will come and all that. Enhancements will come. That's why the enhancements are available to the people as a open source software. And here one point I have to tell you: if you are using a open source software and develop a new product, new software by creating enhancements and all that, the same conditions what are applicable for the open source software, those are applicable to the enhanced one. That means you have to keep the original software open for the public. You cannot make it as you are a proprietor of the same software. If you are using open source software, always if you enhance it also, you have to keep the original software as open source, and you cannot convert them, convert it as proprietary softwares. And one more great benefit is for students and programmers also. Uh, Open source softwares are very useful, because for students and all that, by studying the open source software, they become programmers because they can access the software, and they learn many things, how the loopholes are plugged, how the enhancements are made and all that. They learn practically, which is not possible otherwise. And by that, students are transformed as programmers, and already who are in programming field and all that, by studying all these softwares and all that, they can enrich their programming skills. They can become better programmers. Okay. And one more, the last advantage is, in case of proprietary softwares, one risk is always there. If you purchase any proprietary software under a license agreement, the developer, in case the developer stops his operations and all that, you cannot get any services from him and all that. You cannot get any updations and all that. So one day the software may become outdated. Whatever investment you make and all that, it goes waste. But in case of open source software, that type of risk is not there. Actually, who is the owner of open source software means entire world. So these enthusiastic programmers always focus on that, and they make the enhancement and provide new facilities, new utilities using the open source software, and always they make them update for the present day use, and they take into consideration of all the developments in the environment, and they modify or they enhance the open source software so as to suitable for the current environment. These are the advantages of using open source software.